Mason Katz joining us here on Off the Bench this morning. Good morning, Mace. How are you, man?
I'm doing great, guys. How about yourselves?
Doing good, man. I got to imagine that for you, this time of the year brings you back to the box for your 4 years spent at LSU. You guys had so many cool postseason runs, especially with what the team is accomplishing right now.
Yeah, this is great. I didn't get to make any games this year, but my first one was the regionals. So pretty exciting for my first games attending, not playing, and getting to see them. It's been really, really fun to watch. They've been a good team, and I'm really excited about this Super Regional, especially with Mike Martin and Florida State.
I know you guys don't have good memories about it, but I thought that it was a cool scene last weekend at the box with that 2012 Stony Brook team coming back down to Baton Rouge and taking in the Sea Wolves back down here in South Louisiana, and you guys were kind of going back and forth on social media. I thought it really showed the camaraderie of the game last weekend.
Absolutely. I thought it was so cool. I mean, first off, that experience for just those guys, such a small school, being able to do what they did. And when I went back, a lot of people asked me, like, how does this bring? Is this tough to see? I was like, no, it's actually awesome. With that weekend, I'll tell anybody, the best offensive team I've ever played against was 2012 Stony Brook.
Wow.
I mean, we couldn't do anything to get them out, and they played with five outfielders because Jankowski was 3 in center field.
Yeah.
So
they were a special team, man, for sure. That 2012 group that came down here. Mason Katz joining us off the bench. ESPN New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Alexandria. Of course, Katz, a New Orleans native, Jesuit standout. He was the face of that LSU 2013 run. When you watch this team play, and Mace, we've talked about it here on sports radio leading up to this weekend. This is vintage Palmineri. I mean, all season long, people were asking, what's the deal with LSU? They're going on this roller coaster ride. They're up and down. They're not going to be there at the end of the season. And here they are playing their best baseball at the right time. When you look at the 2019 group of the LSU program, what do you see?
I mean, you nailed it. It's vintage Palmineri. It's every year. It seems like it's the same record. People are freaking out. Everybody's like, "Well, here we go, a season where we're not going to be there in the end." And sure enough, we host in the postseason, and we're 2 wins away from Omaha. I mean, he's got his 6th chance to play in the World Series in 12 years. I mean, a 50% clip in the World Series is pretty solid, if you ask me.
Mason, hey, this is Chad Durbin here. I wanted to ask you, because the outsider looking in is, they're losing midweek games, they're doing this, that, or the other, and obviously I played a long time, and I roll my eyes because what happens in a clubhouse isn't exactly what's seen from the outsider. From Paul and his staff standpoint, and the leaders in the clubhouse, which are guys like you and Aaron Nola a couple years before, during that stretch. What's that look like inside to hear about that stuff and know, hey, you can't care. You're pounding away with your guys and you're in the bunker. Does it resonate? Do you hear it? Do you react to it, or do you just plow away and stick to the process?
Really, it's more just kind of a laughter. You listen to it and you don't care necessarily what comes from the outside because you know what all the work you're putting in with your team, and that's all that matters. And once you're going out there winning big games, I mean, I understand they had some struggles, but they won 17 games in the SEC. That's a great SEC season, and this team reminds me a lot of our 2011 team when we didn't even make the postseason. We were 36-20 and missed the postseason, but we only won 13 SEC games. I think this team ended up winning, 34 regular season games, less than we did that year, but they won 17 games and they hosted in the postseason.
Yeah.
So if you're winning those big games, it matters. The midweek games are something that Coach Maneri is going to pull the strings and try to get the right guys in the best situation to win the big ones, not to win midweek games.
Durbin was a third-round pick out of high school by the Kansas City Royals. He decided to forego college and just went straight to the minors and started his climb to the bigs. You were a fourth-round pick of the St. Louis Cardinals in 2013. You had to navigate that process while going through postseason action. What is that like for a college baseball player?
It's not fair, I don't think. These kids grind every day with their teammates to focus on trying to get to a World Series. And then the biggest point of their lives, being able to go to be a professional athlete in sports, kind of comes on top of your game. I saw a video of the guy high-fiving his teammates after he got drafted in the Stanford game when it was 9-7 and his college career was on the line in the 8th inning.
Yeah, he was coming up to bat.
Yeah, he was getting ready to hit, and I saw that, and I tweeted about it, and somebody sent me a message like, "Oh, well, I heard the manager say his teammates wanted to tell him because they thought it would take stress off of him, and if that was an argument, so you're going to tell me the first 7 innings he had to play stressful in a regional champion, and he had to play stressed out in the championship game? Like that's not a good argument to me. It's just the biggest.
Katz, you should be a lawyer.
Yeah, exactly right.
Well, you think about it, like you said, there's enough stress on it. Now that you've kind of extended away from being 20 and 21 years old, and heck, some of these kids are 19, and having to process all of what you're processing as a student, as an athlete, as a son. I mean, you got everybody in town has something to say about everything, no matter where you go, whether it's a pawpaw or, a 20-year-old that said he played big-time high school ball and sprained his ankle, didn't play in college. But, having to process this information you're in the dugout.
Unbelievable.
I mean,
it's amazing to even fathom.
I always kind of rolled my eyes at it because you watched in the 80s. It wasn't, you didn't get instantly, you didn't know, but these guys would find out. And then, you'd go see, or in the early 90s, you see Todd Walker, and you're like, I wonder when he found out or how that process was. Some guy just walked up to the dugout and was like, hey dude, first round pick. Congratulations. What?
Twins just took your 31st.
And maybe he's wrong. Maybe it's the wrong information. But yeah, I appreciate everything these guys in college have to go through. I mean, it is a completely different process than I went through. It shows your maturity. It really shows that you can do these things at the next level, and whether you make it to the big leagues or not isn't always an indication of your talent. It's just timing and all that stuff. And by the way, congrats on everything that you have experienced and stepping away and all that stuff. I know it's tough. It's your dream and everything, but congrats on everything.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. It's been a better transition. I had a little run of injuries and then decided to step away after that, and it's been good, really. I got married. My wife has done an awesome job of keeping me busy and not making me miss it too much.
Nice.
So it's been a fun transition. But yeah, the whole draft process is really crazy. It's just, I remember when we were playing in that Stony Brook Supers, we had guys taking BP with their phones in their back pockets, talking to agents in the outfield, getting ready for a super regional game.
Crazy.
And that's what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's an amateur sport, technically, but we're working on our professional career while we're playing.
Exactly. So you say you were here for last weekend's regional. Do you make it back for the Super?
I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna be able to come Saturday, but I think I'll be able to make Sunday. So hopefully it's a LSU 1-0 lead, and I can watch them dogpile.
That'd be beautiful. One of the former LSU greats, Mason Katz. Hopefully he's in the box taking in Game 2 this weekend. He was there last weekend for the regionals, and we appreciate the knowledge and the time this morning, man.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me on.
Yes, sir. There he is, Mason Katz, checking in as LSU baseball is set to play host to Florida State this weekend. That'll be super regional action. We'll tell you about tickets. Tickets going